Outputting our coverage. It's what we do. That's all we do. Every Thursday at 5:30. College football. College football. Mountain West Conference. Doesn't matter. SEC is all that matters. Nick Saban is crazy. Yeah. And that's all. Let's start the show. Outputting our coverage. It's what
Welcome in to Outputting Our Coverage, home of the weekly technical difficulty challenge.
We're getting better at it.
We're getting better. We have music that plays. Sometimes we have pauses.
It's for dramatic effect.
Then we talk. That's just kind of how we do things here. But
at least we don't have any spoilers like NBC in the Olympics.
That is very true. Very true. Apologize for the late start here tonight. The grasp of work and productivity just reeled me in, and sometimes these things happen. But now we're here to do something really productive.
The office knows that football season is getting here.
Yeah, well, they should. They should know better than they do, because come several weekends from now, there's going to be no time for tomfoolery. It's
absolutely unacceptable.
It's going to be all business. We mean football business. Let's start by talking about a little non-football business, though. This thing called the Olympics continues amidst us and around us. Admittedly, I've been paying a little bit less attention lately. I don't know why that is. What about you?
I just like to see that my prediction from last week came true. I said that when we got to track and field that the Olympics would recapture the medal lead. I believe we're securely about 3 or 4 medals ahead right now. We actually got another medal in women's soccer today.
Oh, I was not aware of that.
We actually had an all-USA beach volleyball, women's beach volleyball event, so that was interesting.
What, you say all USA, like 2 teams competing against each other?
In the championship, that's right.
That doesn't really make sense. Why would there not just be one American team?
Each country gets to put at least 2 teams into the pool.
See, that's just stupid.
It's stupid, but it gets us more medals, so I'm not complaining.
It's like the Olympics are just trying as hard as they can to make things weird. Sometimes.
They do. With all the appeals, that's kind of odd. Have you seen anything about the appeals and the gymnastics and that kind of stuff?
The only appeal that I knew of was our famous badminton throwing the game case.
Right.
That one was swiftly denied.
No, so. the IOC takes things a little odd, and they just... It's pretty weird how you have to do it. You have to come up with a bundle of $100 bills when you want to appeal something, because you have to pay the appeal fee up front.
You're being serious with this.
Completely serious. It's
wow.
At least $400 or $500 that you have to come up there with all the signed paperwork, and then they'll review your appeal. That's whether they accept it or deny it. You have to pay for it, and it helped us actually in a couple of events, but it's hurt us in a couple others. There was actually one fencer who had to sit on the podium for 45 minutes while they reviewed her thing, and she ended up missing out on a gold medal. I know this is captivating radio.
It's interesting. I didn't really know the whole appeal process worked in such a barbaric fashion.
Just give us your money and we'll take a look at the clip.
I have another name for you, though, that I want to talk about for a second. Usain Bolt.
Usain Bolt is
very fast.
An extremely fast man.
But it is also very disturbing to me that America, as far as track goes, at least men's track, we suck. We're just not very good.
Second and third place is not sucking.
That's not, if you ain't first, you're last. That's what Ricky Bobby or Reese Bobby taught us.
It's a very good point. However, not all the testing has been done and come through yet. Usain Bolt, extremely fast, very possible that it could be natural. However, things of this nature tend to come back and bite certain people. When people are that much faster than their world-class competitors, occasionally things come back.
That's true. I mean, I could see he's been using some drugs, but from Jamaica, they may not be the drugs that you would expect a sprinter to use.
That's a good point.
I don't know. The interesting side note on Usain Bolt that I noticed the other day, he is like the most well-spoken, down-to-earth Jamaican I've ever seen.
That's a very good point.
It's very strange.
I think it has to do with the fact that he's trying to make himself as marketable as possible. It's working. He's going to blow up after these Olympics. He's an impressive guy.
Yeah, it's still just kind of disappointing. that America can't be back up there. I mean, I remember back the 1996 Olympics, Michael Johnson, the guy with the gold shoes.
Never lost.
Just owning it. But it seems like as long as I can remember, maybe the last guy to win the 100 meters, and the whole meter thing, don't get me started on that. But,
right.
The last guy to win that, which traditionally that person is the fastest man in the world, was probably Carl Lewis.
We had, well, in the Olympics, yes.
Yeah.
We had Gatlin won the 100-meter, actually set the world record in it, but it was stripped after it found out that he was doping. So
yeah, see, so I don't know. I just feel like maybe, do you think it, let's kind of tie it back to football here. Do you think that some of the faster sprinters just end up playing football instead so they don't focus on
it's
running?
very possible. You've got all the Florida running backs these last couple of years, from Percy Harvin to Chris Rainey and Demps, world-class athletes, sprinters in their own right, but they have more of a focus on football. That could be it. Jamaica always has put an emphasis on their running teams for
and
years
bobsled
now.
team.
Also, well, that was brief.
Those are their two traditional mainstays.
Yes.
So
if you had to think Jamaica, bobsled would probably be number 2 in your mind.
absolutely.
But
Absolutely.
America does have the decathlon.
No,
So
I don't even know what all is in a decathlon.
Let's see. So far, all I know, I'm only knowing as I see the updates on ESPN. But we've had the discus, the pole vault, hurdles, 100-meter dash, and a couple other things.
You get to shoot guns in the decathlon.
I don't think there's any gun shooting.
Maybe that's the Winter Olympics where you like ski and shoot a gun at the same time.
The skiing part should have cued you in on the fact that it's a Winter Olympics sport.
Well, I'm just kind of baffled by this because I feel like combining skiing and guns is possibly the most dangerous thing I've ever heard of. I mean,
sharks with laser beams on their head.
Okay, it's tied for number 1, 1A
Right.
and 1B. But I mean, if you give yourself a nice gun out there, you're skiing along, bam, you're on your back immediately.
That's a good point.
Immediately.
That's a very good point.
So, just saying, I don't think that is a very good idea. I don't really pay much attention to the Winter Olympics anyway, except for hockey. It's the only time I really pay attention.
I don't
to
know.
hockey.
I like that event where they fall down the hill and then fly like a little flying
the
squirrel.
ski jump.
Yeah, that's a pretty interesting
and
one.
also curling. I know we've been big fans of curling in the
I'm
past.
a huge fan. We've actually tried to go curling.
Yeah, we're still trying to work that out. In fact, maybe we can set up an official outputting our coverage curling event.
It would be awesome if anybody can get us in the Knoxville arena.
Absolutely. We would definitely get you on the show, possibly give you other
We'll give you a
free
sponsor.
things.
We'll give you a sponsorship of the show.
Yeah, I mean, we'll do basically whatever you want. So
Now, Andy, I'm going to list off what's in the men's decathlon, and you tell me which event you think you could beat these Olympic athletes at.
all right.
You ready?
I hope this is not a legit decathlon, but we'll see.
Day 1 involves a 100-meter dash,
No.
the long jump.
No.
You've got a bionic knee.
Yeah, I jump high, not long.
Okay. The shot put,
Probably not.
high jump.
Yeah, maybe.
Okay.
Maybe.
Bionic knee.
Maybe.
400-meter dash.
It seems like long. Is that like a mile? That's not a mile.
That's-
400 meters, not a
It's
mile.
like 4 laps-ish.
It's
like
close to a mile.
Close to a mile.
Yeah.
110-meter hurdles.
Ooh.
That's day 2.
How high are
This
the
is starting
hurdles?
day 2.
Do we know?
They're
how high they
past
are?
your hip.
That's pretty high.
That's pretty high.
That seems like it. Do I wear a cup?
Right. Probably still not going to help. Maybe even make it worse. The discus throw, not frisbee.
That would probably make me dizzy because you have to spin around a lot. I'm saying no.
The pole vault.
I've tried the pole vault as an amateur before with
Have you tried pole vaulting?
branches and things.
Oh, okay.
I don't know how it works.
Yes, it's a little
It
confusing.
looks very, very scary.
The javelin throw.
Yes.
You'd win the javelin throw.
Absolutely.
Have you seen how far they throw those?
Don't care.
Okay. And it doesn't. You can't hit somebody with it.
Nah, I don't care.
Okay.
I could throw a javelin. It's just
All
like
right.
throwing a dart.
And the 1,500 meter. That's not really a dash.
1,500 meters, that sounds like a really long way.
So javelin throw or the high jump with your bionic knee would be your 2.
I'm thinking high jump javelin throw.
That is an interesting combination. I think you would win that event.
I think so. But, decathlon to me, what does a decathlete do for the other 3 years and 50 weeks of their life?
Train.
do they get paid for this? I mean, this is an Olympics question in general. Like, these people from these obscure sports, what do they do the rest of the time?
Most of them have other jobs. I read up a Yahoo article today that was talking about the very same thing. Some weightlifters were janitors, but a triathlete for the USA team actually works at a bank, and her office schedules around her training days as she gets closer and closer to the Olympics.
Interesting.
Pretty good.
Interesting. Nice to have that kind of flexibility. Well, speaking of flexibility, not really. We're going to do the same thing we always do and go to SEC preview segment. We got 3 more teams left. We'll surprise you.
The last 3 teams.
We'll surprise you which ones, in case you aren't able to do subtraction and figure out the ones we haven't done yet. We're going to be wrapping that up this week. Next week, we're going to be talking about the Alabama Crimson Tide, doing a full preview, pretty much dedicating the entire show to that, getting you ready for their season. And the week after that, we'll be doing the same for the Auburn Tigers. And the week after that is basically the start of football season.
We got football starting the same day that we broadcast, so that's exciting.
Absolutely. We could act like we're live broadcasting the game, but to be honest with you, I'd much rather watch it. So
Also, we probably get in a little trouble for that.
Yeah, nobody listens to this show. We're not going to get in any trouble.
Agreed.
Hey, anyway, we're taking a quick commercial break. We'll be right back on the other side with the famous SEC previews.
It's time for SEC preview. SEC, Big 10, Big 12, 12 can't count. SEC, college football robber barons. SEC, yeah, they're big, they're fast, they're strong. And Missouri and Texas A&M as well. Yeah, SEC preview. Here we go.
All right. Welcome back.
SEC preview.
Out putting our coverage.
SEC ZZ gets better every time I hear it.
SEC ZZ, the world-famous rapping duo. Speaking of world-famous, let's get into our SEC preview segment. 3 teams left on the docket to talk about this week. But let's start with the newcomer to the conference, Texas A&M. We already talked about the other newcomer, Missouri. Kind of lukewarm predictions for them. Texas A&M, maybe a different story, though, despite the fact that they're coming into the very tough Western Division.
Now, a lot of people have high hopes for Texas A&M coming in out of the 2 teams. They were a little better last year, choked in a lot of games. They were really close in a lot of games. They just let them slide. They had a really good year last year. A lot of people are really high on the coach coming in. I'm not sure if I feel it. What do you think, Andy?
Well, basically, Texas A&M's MO last year was second-half choke artists.
Exactly.
Very strong in a lot of games behind Ryan Tannehill, who, for some reason, was drafted by, I believe, the Dolphins.
Miami Dolphins, early in the draft.
Yeah, pretty stupid move there. It was not that great.
And what's impressive is he got drafted that high, and the biggest talk of the night was about his wife.
What's the deal with his wife?
Apparently, she was very good-looking.
Huh. Interesting. I've heard good things about the quality of females at Texas A&M. I'll just throw that out there.
Okay.
So we'll have to see that as the season goes on, see if those reports turn out to be true or not. But as far as Ryan Tannehill goes, Texas A&M will definitely miss him. They're bringing in a sophomore as the projected starter, Jameel Showers,
right.
A guy I've never heard of. But you kind of get into the question of Kevin Sumlin, the new Texas A&M coach. He kind of is a system guy, brings in a very specific air raid-esque type attack with an offensive coordinator. You may remember Cliff Kingsbury
from Texas Tech.
So maybe the quarterback not such a big deal. I don't know.
Quarterback is definitely going to be a big deal. I think to bring in this kind of system with the coach that they have, coming from an old shotgun, even a power system at times, they ran the ball a lot and they were passing a lot off of play action. This is a brand new system. It would have been nice to have somebody with some experience to handle this new transition.
Absolutely. But I don't know. A positive for Texas A&M is they have an excellent offensive line.
That's true.
A lot of experience, a lot of talent. They give Mr. Showers a little bit more time to think. Although you'd have to think with an offense like this that the key is to kind of quick fire, quick passes. You don't want to spend a lot of time back there thinking. So
that's right. When they think of the old Houston passing game, they think downfield.
Yep.
That's not necessarily the case. There's a lot of underneath routes, a lot of mesh routes, drags, little short slants. It's a lot about quickness.
I've heard some comparisons with this Showers guy to 34-year-old Case Keenum. I don't know if I believe any of that. I mean, Case it's hard to evaluate Case Keenum anyway because he is definitely a system guy. But as far as the rest of Texas A&M's offense, they do have a pretty good running back in Christine Michael. Very solid for them last year. Some pretty decent senior leadership at wide receiver with Ryan Swope and another guy whose name there's no chance I'm going to be able to pronounce.
Right.
Let me give it a shot.